features of the night. It's your girl Tati. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite. Oh, before I do that, I have just gotten home from the AEW All In kickoff party that they had here in Arlington, Texas. It was a really great time. Got a chance to meet some wrestlers, got a chance to look at some AEW memorabilia from wrestlers, and also got a chance to watch the Dynamite episode live in a sports bar setting and a really huge screen. It was really nice. And they were pretty much getting people hyped up for AEW All In. That's going to be coming, July 21st in Arlington next year. Also, they have VIP tickets as well on sale. Your girl is broke. Your girl is motherfucking broke. But still worth it. Had a really great time. And I would definitely love to go to like a bar setting and watch wrestling again. It was really cool. I've never done that before. But let's talk about AEW Dynamite. Now, we started off with an 8-person tag match. That's what they said. They didn't say 8-man tag. They said 8-person tag match, which was very interesting to hear, especially since everyone in the ring at least identify as men. Interesting. Now, we did start off with Don Callis family versus the team of William Ospreay, Ricochet, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Mark Davis. And honestly, when they came out, I was just like, they look like the good guys, like a team of superheroes that you call when all the good superheroes are booked and busy and doing other things, and these are the people that's left. That's what it was giving me. I didn't mind this team, but to be honest, I would prefer to see Powerhouse Hobbs and Mark Davis being heels right now. But we can't all get what we want. We had a really great matchup here, and they really played into Powerhouse Hobbs' knee injury after they ended up throwing him onto the steel steps. He's holding on to the knee. He's limping, and he goes to the back, and the doctors are tending to him. And now it becomes a handicap match where we have all the members of the Don Callis family versus just 3 others. So 3 versus 4 match. And oh my God, Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher. Oh my God, I can't keep my eyes off of these two. They are just absolutely amazing. Les Archer, Brian Cage, they were there. They were doing something and, whatever. But my focus really was on Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. Were really the MVPs of this match for me. Now, just when it seems like everything is going the way for the heels, here come Powerhouse Hobbs, who's wobbling over like an old man to the ring, who ends up taking care of business in the ring, but apparently not great business since Takeshita ends up taking the win for his team, and rightfully so. And yes, I was the only person at the bar clapping for the Don Callis family. So after this, we do have a commercial break where we have the Hurt Business. The Hurt Syndicate comes into the building. Renee Paquette stops to speak to them, and MVP says, hey, we got some news that we're going to share tonight. We have Bobby Lashley who's going to be in action in a 2-on-1 match. And as soon as they said that, I knew it was going to be foolishness, but whatever. Now, while they're doing that, here comes Swerve with an attack, and the Hurt Syndicate, they're not happy about this. So now we have a very pointless this was just so pointless to me. We had Adam Cole Bebe who comes out with story time, and then we also have Kyle O'Reilly who comes and interrupt, basically letting him know that, hey, you got a lot of friends up here who love and care for you, but you getting them into some foolishness with MJF, who's an evil person, and you should be thinking about other people instead of yourself. It was so pointless to me. It was a way of, how can we get Adam Cole still involved in this story and put him on TV on the Go Home show? It was a waste of time, especially when as soon as Kyle O'Reilly finished making his point, which whatever that was, he ends up just walking out the ring and just leaving. No music, no nothing, no. It just felt like you just kind of got tired of speaking and just walked away. And for me, I was just like, it's a go-home show. We are wasting time with foolishness like this. I really wish that they were not getting back into the Adam Cole MJF thing. I don't know what's going on with that, but it also is showing that Kyle O'Reilly, he still cares about the kingdom, and maybe he might get into his senses and get back with the group. So now we have Orange Cassidy, who's going to be in the main event with Wheeler Yuta. And he is telling the conglomeration, like, no matter what happens, don't bring your asses out there to help me. And they're just like, what? We know there's going to be shenanigans. We're going to come out there and help you. And here, once again, is Orange Cassidy just saying, look, everybody stay in the back. I got this. I don't need any help. And that's how I knew he definitely was going to need some help. On to what I felt like was the match I enjoyed the most, Statlander versus Hikaru Shida. Something about this where I was just like, okay, they've been in the ring one time before, but seeing this was something that maybe they could have saved for a pay-per-view. You guys know Hikaru Shida last week had said that when Statlander takes the title off of our CEO, that she was going to go against Statlander to be number one contender, but Statlander's like, bitch, you can fight me right now. And then they end up having that match tonight on Dynamite, which I thought was really great. The chemistry was great. And I was glued. I was absolutely glued the entire time. And when I see things like this, it makes me want to see more women's wrestling incorporated onto the show. Because, like, why the hell not? Now, we do have Statlander taking the win, and rightfully so. This is one of those situations where you know someone's going to take a win right before they go into a pay-per-view match, but the match is really, really good. No squash, no foolishness, nothing. Just two girls getting in the ring and getting shit done, entertaining as hell, and I absolutely love this. Now, obviously, CEO is not happy about this. She comes out with Camille. Camille still got her arm in a sling. And she tells Camille to get in the ring and take care of business. Now, Camille gets in there. First of all, Camille had like a little bob or whatever. I didn't even know she got hair. And she gets in the ring. And Hikaru Shida and Statlander beat her up. And I was not happy about this. Now y'all know I always side for the heels. However, something about this kind of felt like it didn't make sense for someone who is already in a sling to come out there and get beat up on, and I just didn't understand that. Like, I felt like that weakened Camille. Now I understand we do have CEO who's being bossy, no pun intended, and making her do things that she doesn't want to do. I get that, but at the end of the day, it's just like where the credibility of Camille has been dwindling down these past few weeks, and I don't know if it's necessarily helping Camille to be part of this group. Matter of fact, it almost feels like Camille might end up leaving CEO really, really soon. And something about that makes me feel like this could have gone on a lot longer. Now, after they do end up taking care of Camille, we do have Statlander who ends up giving a pile driver to CEO. And that was the end of that. I wish it was something else would have happened instead to get people hyped up for this match. But I will say this is one of the matches that I'm really excited for to see Statlander versus Mercedes Moné. Let's see what they give us at the pay-per-view. It should be a really great match. So now, right before Bobby Lashley's match, we do have Shelton Benjamin and MVP. They look around the building for Swerve, and they see somebody sitting on a staircase with a Swerve jacket, that big fur brown jacket that's like 500 chinchillas on it. They thought it was him, but it ended up being someone else. And I know this is like maybe an indie wrestler or something. For whatever reason, I can't think of his name, but I've seen this guy wrestle before. He also has dreads, so I can see why they thought that was Swerve. They ended up beating him up since it wasn't the person that they wanted. Now, they waste our time with the almighty Bobby Lashley going in in a match. It's not singles action because he's in a handicap match with Cheeseburger and another guy. I think his name was Joey something. I don't remember what his name. Joey Keys. There we go. Joe Keys, whatever. Both these guys combined probably don't weigh as much as Bobby Lashley. Okay. Cheeseburger, baby, we haven't seen you in quite some time in AEW, so it was really nice to see you again. I don't know what the point of this was. I really don't know. Are there not any indie wrestlers that are the size of Bobby? We had to use two little shrimps to go against Bobby. How does that look for his first match? You see what I'm saying? When it was Shelton who had his first match with AEW, he went against Leo Rush, who was a credible wrestler. And that match was just Shelton was dominating in that match, and it was amazing. It was probably one of the best debut matches that I've ever seen. And then here we have Bobby Lashley going against two people that's combined don't weigh as much as he does, and I'm just like, for first of all, go home show and for his debut match, I don't think so. I something about that just didn't look right to me. Obviously, Bobby ends up taking the win, but we do have Swerve who ends up coming in and attacking our boy Bobby Lashley and even gives him a house call and ends up running through the crowd. That part I didn't mind. I thought that was interesting, but it also made me feel like, all right, Swerve, you are not winning at the pay per view, which I'm okay with if that's the case. However, for them to put Bobby in a handicap match like this, Tony Khan, I don't know what we're doing. After this, we have Mina and Mariah May. They got some toast thing that they're gonna be doing at All In instead of her getting in the ring. I'm not impressed. Claudio Castagnoli versus Darby Allin. Oh my God, where do I begin? Let me just say this. Claudio, he comes out there. He looks just fearless, and I love it. Darby comes out and he looks fearless as usual as well. But then when he gets in the ring, he's at the corner waiting for Claudio to come out. And you could tell he's taking deep breath, very deep breath. I was like, that's interesting that he'd be warming up like that. Like he know he's in for an ass whooping. And he sure was. When I tell you, Claudio Castagnoli manhandled Darby Allin in a way that we haven't seen in quite some time. Now, look, I stopped feeling sorry for Darby Allin a long time ago because I realized this is exactly what Darby wants. Everything you see him going through them tables, him being, he gets a giant swing, and then Claudio ends up swinging him onto the steel steps, and all that. That's exactly what Darby wants. Darby dreams about this stuff. That he tells the wrestlers, "Hey, can you do this to me outside during our match?" And that's what they do. Exactly that. So I stopped feeling bad for Darby a long time ago. Now, I'll say this. Um, Y'all already know that we got the Death Riders versus AEW situation. And I thought it was very interesting how they would have Darby, who just came off resilient, but not necessarily. You knew he wasn't going to win. All we saw was just when he got that dog left in him, he's just going to keep going. And he did that up until he couldn't do it no more. Now, Claudio, he got on top of the announce table and then he threw Darby onto the timekeeper's table. It didn't break, but the way he hit the table was insane. And then he ended up laying out under the table, and the sheet that was on the table covered him, and it looked like he was in bed. Okay, he looked like he went straight to motherfucking bed. The referee was counting to 10. He ends up making it to the ring at 9. Claudio hits him with an uppercut and a lariat at the same motherfucking time. Like, I don't know what that was. But Claudio ends up taking the win. And like I said, don't even feel bad for Darby despite how gruesome this looked. This is exactly what he wants. Now, after this, we do have MJF, who is God knows where. I think at a trailer park or something. He pulls up in a really nice car, and there's a guy, a homeless guy, who's shaking a cup of change. And instead of MJF putting the change in his cup, he throws it on the ground and tells him to go catch it. So the guy goes to go get it. Now he cuts a promo on Roderick Strong, basically letting him know that, hey, I know your mama has shot your daddy. But after I'm done with you, you're going to wish that it was you she shot. And I was just like, damn, did we have to get this personal with it? Now, I am actually excited to see these two guys get in the ring, but something about this story in general is falling flat for me. So, So now Roderick Strong, he comes out and he does an interview with Shivani with the Undisputed Kingdom, the whole group, everybody out there. And long story short, he says he doesn't care about MJF putting his family business out there. Whatever happened, he's done and over with that. And that he's going to beat MJF at the pay-per-view. And honestly, this whole thing, like I said, I don't care. We don't care. Now, here we have an update about Jackson Perry. Remember Jackson Perry? They put him on top of the scapegoat bus. They chained him and they drove off to God knows where. Now they drove out to like some kind of warehouse, some abandoned place. They tied him up to the chair and they were kind of like torturing him, but like in a nice way. Because obviously Danny Garcia, Daddy Magic, they just fucking, I don't know, baby faces. So what can they do? Now, here is Daniel Garcia with a crowbar, and I was like, oh, so you about that life? You gonna attack him with the crowbar? Instead of beating him up with the crowbar, he just hits hits the car with it, that ugly truck with it, and that's it. And I was just like, really? Like, how do you want people to feel about you, Danny Garcia? Now, look, I'm glad that Danny Garcia signed with AEW or whatever, but this was an opportunity for him to get revenge on him. But instead, he's still too worried about looking like the good guy in this situation. This match at the pay per view should be interesting. I'm about to say Darby. Jackson Perry, he's willing to go the distance. But what I saw tonight with this whole fiasco, Daniel Garcia, I'm not sure how far he's willing to go to be the TNT champion. So now some more pointless things. We're supposed to have a contract signing with Ishii and Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho ends up walking out the room with the contract. Ishii is like, I'm trying to sign the damn thing. Like, give me the damn clipboard. And instead, Ishii is following him throughout the whole building. Then they somehow make their way into the ring. And then just when Chris Jericho signs it and Ishii thinks he's going to sign it, here comes the whole learning tree that ends up attacking Ishii. And then, the conglomeration, they come out there to help. This was so pointless. First of all, this has something to do with next week Dynamite. This is not even supposed to be on the pay-per-view. We could have really cut this whole thing and put it on Rampage, honestly. And this whole thing was just a waste of time. For a go-home show, not strong. Not strong. Okay, so we get another video from Julia Hart, and this is after Jamie Hayter is saying, I don't know why Julia's video had interrupted my promo last week, but if she want to talk to me, she can come talk to me. And in this new vignette, which is so great, another really great one, she's like reborn to be, I guess, the Julia Hart that she is now. I don't know where they're going with this whole thing, but if we're going to get Julia versus Jamie Hayter, I'm so ready for it. Main event. Wheeler Yuta versus Orange Cassidy. Oh my God. So Orange Cassidy, he's a babyface. And he's had friendship with Wheeler Yuta. And at times you can see him focusing on kind of like, I don't want to hurt you. We used to be friends. And I'm just like, baby, y'all not friends no more. Just beat his ass up. And you can just see him losing focus in terms of trying to win this instead of thinking, man, I used to be friends with this guy. What are we doing right now? Now, at some point, Giovanni on commentary says, when have you ever seen Orange Cassidy wearing black denim? And I was like, didn't he wear that last week? Did he wear that last week? This is not even the first time he's worn this before. I don't know what was going on. Giovanni is just so boring to me on commentary. I should have muted that thing. Now, great match. I just didn't feel too interested as like how I was like, I don't know, with Hikaru Shida and Statlander. But it felt obvious to me that Orange Cassidy was going to end up taking the win because obviously he's going to be going against Moxley on the pay-per-view. Now, what I was interested in was after the match where we had the Death Riders who are beating the hell up out of Orange Cassidy. And at some point, Orange Cassidy even gets up and he's giving everybody those little baby kicks, but they whoop his ass. I liked how they put his hands in his pocket. They taped his whole arm while his hands in his pocket, so they can beat him up. I love it. I love it. But that whole beatdown, no one from the conglomeration came out because he said, don't come out. Now, the second that they're finished beating him up, which honestly, I wouldn't be finished. I would be stomping his ass out all night. Here comes the conglomeration as soon as they're done. And I was just like, you could have came on time if you won't come out at all. And that's how we end up leaving the show. It's not strong. Not strong for a go-home show. Will I be watching Full Gear? Yes, I will. But, for other people who is not easily convinced, I don't see that this show, with this last-ditch effort to get you into, because remember, there's no Collision, and Rampage, y'all know Rampage ain't going to give us nothing anyway. It's just that this was that last ditch effort. The card is not strong, not as strong as last year to me. So for me, I'm just like, y'all already got my money for the pay-per-view. But for other people, you probably didn't convince much, not with this go-home show. Not a bad show, but to consider a Full Gear being one of their bigger pay-per-views, I felt like this could have been a much stronger go-home show. So maybe better luck next time, Tony Khan. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll be back tomorrow with a review on Ring of Honor. See you guys then.